Hey friends, thanks for joining me here on the Do Business Better podcast. It's me, Damian Mason. So glad you're tuning in. Got a very timely show for you today that you can apply to your life and business. I've been accused of underestimating the coronavirus situation. I'm not making a joke about it, but I have said it is overhyped. The media has really run with this. I just have been through a few of these battles before, from H1N1 to the avian influenza to the SARS. So we've seen this before. And the reality is, it is serious. People are going to die. People are dying. But in a country of 330 million people, I actually believe that some of the steps that we are taking, somewhat of the panic, I guess, is probably unwarranted. We got people that are hoarding toilet paper, for crying out loud. It's brought out, it's almost like shall we say, a Twilight Zone episode where there's some human behavior that you just absolutely aren't proud of. But here's the thing. We are business people. And as business people, we can't control these situations. They are given to us, so we've got to do what we can to navigate this. I've been through some battles, 25 going on 26 years of piloting my own enterprise, and I think I've done pretty well at it. Well, one of the things you've got to do is weather the storm. You've got to be adaptable. You've got to be always evolution-minded about what you can do to get through these situations. So if you're in business, I'm going to give you now, and I don't care whether you're the entrepreneur, solopreneur, have 150 employees, wherever you are in this, and even if you don't own a business, I'm going to give you 5 activities that you can do, productive uses of your time that you can apply to your life and business while things are upside down. This is about slow time stuff, because many of us are going to have to go into a situation we didn't ask for, but we're going to be a little slower. There's going to be less customers calling. There's going to be less product going out the door. This is not something that any of us really wanted. And frankly, again, I think that some of it, as I record this, Ohio and Illinois have just announced that by law, restaurants and bars have to be closed. So there's a lot of people going to be impacted by this, and I still believe the economic impact is going to be so much more detrimental than the health impact. But again, all we can do, all Damian Mason can do for you, is give you ideas on how you can do business better. So I'm going to give you 5 ideas, 5 ways, not ideas. These are actually things you can do right now, activities. None of this bullshit of, oh, hey, here's a kind of a cool idea. No, I'm telling you, this is stuff that works, stuff that I'm already doing, and stuff that I have done when I also faced slow times. Okay? Call it capitalizing on your Corona time. Capitalizing on your Corona time. And no, I'm not talking about time spent drinking Mexican beer, although I certainly encourage you to take a little time for that. You work hard. You deserve it. I'm going to get done with my work today, and as you probably well know, I'm not really a Corona drinker, but I'm going to have a Coors Banquet, and I'm going to enjoy it on my back porch, or maybe after I get a bike ride done. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to do the right things now so that you can have lots more time for ice-cold Coronas after we've all weathered this current situation. Unfortunately, some of the things that are happening right now, while we're in a fever pitch, are going to be with us for another month and quarter, because it's not going to bounce back like that. Although, like I said, I believe that we'll all just be fine. We're going to have to get through a little bit of a challenge. Number one thing you can do, customer outreach. Okay, you're a little slow right now. People are panicking. You're not selling. Unless you're in the toothpaste or the toilet paper and hand sanitizer business, you're probably experiencing a bit of a slowdown. And what can you do during that slowdown, that slower period? And some businesses aren't going to slow down much at all. We're still going to end up consuming things. But we know that a lot of businesses are going to go through a tightening. And then what always happens is there's this panic mentality. So folks like, oh, I can't spend money now. Why can't you? What difference does it make? Especially those that have normal jobs. What's going to change for them? But they'll still alter their behavior, and it's going to impact us that run our own businesses. So the first thing you do is do customer outreach. Your competitors are probably getting desperate. Your competitors are going to start banging on doors of new clientele. They're going to be banging on your customers' doors. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to steal your business. So what do? You become more proactive at just maintaining the customer base you have. Get on the phone, get on the email. If they're still willing to meet with you, go meet with them. Take a plant tour. Double down on your interest in them. Go sit in their offices and see how things look from them. Understand what their problems are. And I'll give you a little hint. Your customers are probably also experiencing a challenge right now because they, like you, work for other people's money, because we all work for other people's money. So your customers are probably dealing with a slowdown now also. So they, like you, are a little bit concerned. They're navigating the storm. Isn't it interesting how you can do business with people and be very frank with them? I have my customers that hire me. Say, hey man, how are you holding up? Well, all the conferences that I was booked to speak at in the next 4 weeks got postponed. That's okay. I'm not afraid to tell my clients that things got crazy in the conference and travel business. Hell, they know it. Then we can talk about them. What can I do for you? What can I do for you right now? I'm not going to be getting on an airplane, doesn't look like March 21st. I'm not going to be getting on an airplane March 30th. How about if we just reschedule this? By May, things get more normal. It's only going to take 4 to 6 weeks, trust me. The American attention span can't take it for much longer than that. Number one thing, outreach to your customers. Cultivate deeper relationships. Spend this time to really reach out. Yeah, you got too busy. You got too caught up with your own schedule and you weren't paying attention to your clients, and that's how you lose clients. And right now, there's going to be somebody else out there running around and they're going to try and steal your customers by being cheaper. That's how everybody does it. They're not creative. They're not adding value. They'll just go along and say, Jesus, we're awfully slow. We better drum up some business. Go out there and beat the bushes and give the product away. You can't afford to give the product away because your revenue might already be altered. So you double down on relationships and demonstrate how you can give them more value. Number one way to spend your time, customer outreach. Get out there and sell. Get out there and be a service provider. Number two, creativity. Use your slow time now, your corona time, to be creative. You are in a creative business. I told you this in another podcast and another article that I wrote. Damian, you're in a creative business. You write books. You deliver presentations. You used to be a comedian. That's creative. I'm not creative. I do X, Y, Z. You know what? If you create a customer experience, you are in a creative business. And guess what? If you sell a product or a service, you create a customer experience. How could you create a better one? Use some slow time to be creative. Come up with a new product. When's the last time you sat down in an empty room with just a pad of paper and a pen and let your mind wander? Jot down 3 things you might be doing wrong. Then jot down 3 areas where you think the marketplace is not being served. Oh, that's how creative works. Yeah, creative doesn't mean writing a song. Creative doesn't mean coming up with a poem. By the way, I fucking hate poems. I hate poems. I hate poems. I hate poetry. Just so that you know, since we're all friends here, if I'm ever at an event where I'm speaking and you have the person before me get up and read a poem, I'm going to stand up and throw my fork at them, all right? I hate poetry. Creativity does not mean poetry. It does not mean writing songs. It does not mean putting together a book. It means a lot of things. Creativity means you're spending your time coming up with some new thing, some new method. Maybe looking at the marketplace and saying, where is the customer not being served? What are we doing now that we could also alter a little bit? That's creative. Sit down with one other person and ask those questions. That'll boost your creativity. Hey, where do you think we're not serving our customers as well as we could? Hey, what do you think is lacking in the marketplace? That's creative. Give yourself time during the slow time of the coronavirus epidemic, scare, panic, whatever you want to call it, pandemic. Give yourself time to be creative for your own business. Remember, the marketplace is always evolving. The adaptable and the versatile survive. It's not survival of the fittest and strongest. It's survival of the fittest by adapting. It's survival of the fittest because you adapt to change. Those that are stuck in their ways that lack creativity will go extinct. Number 3, Number 3 way you can spend your time. Number 3, investment of your coronavirus time. Diversify. Just a little bit ago, we were talking about creativity. Where is this customer not being served? What's lacking in the marketplace? Just sit and think for a while. Look out the window and say, you know what? I have this idea that there's something that we could capitalize on. And then you diversify. Now, a lot of times you say, no, I'm really good at doing what I do. But right now, the marketplace isn't paying you for what you do. Right now, you're probably slow or slowed down a little bit. So take the opportunity to come up with a new product or service, a new offering, something that your customers probably have even asked you. Sometimes that happens. Hey, Damian, do you do sales training? I was asked that not too long ago, and I said, I used to be in sales. I've taken professional selling courses. I've been through professional selling seminars. I can probably do sales training, yes, and I have a chapter on sales in my book, Do Business Better, all about the 10 rules that I live by for sales success. So I diversified by coming up with a sales training seminar. You can diversify also. Ask your customers what they'd like, what more you could do for them. Great opportunity there because you're already doing outreach to them. Remember that was rule number 1. Okay, option number 4, place where you can spend your time. A place where you can spend your time while things are slow. And by the way, I have an article about this very topic coming out this week also called Capitalizing on Your Corona Time. That's what this is in my hands right here. Number 4 way for you to capitalize on your Corona time, look at your legal, your financial, and your insurances. You are a business after all. If you are in business, you probably have contracts. You probably have hiring paperwork that you do with employees. You probably have a system of legal paperwork that you use for how you conduct your business. You probably have a will or estate plan. If you don't, you're irresponsible. Don't give me this bullshit of, I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've been hearing this forever. My parents were irresponsible about their business. I meet people all the time that are older than me, and I'm 50, who say, well, I haven't got my will done yet. What do you think's going to happen? Well, I love it when these people that sit around having a beer with you and say, you know what I've been telling everybody? When I die, they ought to just, I'm like, well, who have you been telling? Me on the back porch drinking a beer? I have no control over you. Why don't you go to an estate attorney and actually be prudent and smart and sit down with the estate attorney and tell that person? Because then instead of telling me over a beer on the back porch what you want to do, you can actually get it done legally. Yeah, that's called estate planning, a will. You're irresponsible. And there is no excuse. There is no excuse if you do not have a will and an estate plan if you are in business or if you have children. Oh, well, somebody. Yeah, right. You're going to leave that for some relative that they're going to come in, swoop in, and be responsible because you were irresponsible? Take care of your legal work. Take care of your legal work for your business and for your person. This is for your wife and your husband and your children. Do it for the family. This is a great time to do it. You've got a little slow time. You don't want to go and meet the attorney because you're afraid of shaking hands and getting coronavirus? Do it online. Call them up, send emails, and most of this can be handled until it's time to sign the paperwork. Also, financials. The Federal Reserve just today, as I'm recording this, announced 0% interest rates for the federal fund rates, which doesn't mean what you borrow money for, but it certainly is going to have an impact on the marketplace. Now, during your slow time, would be an amazing time to refinance debt. If you have money, if you're sitting on cash, for crying out loud, now's an excellent time to invest. Invest in the stock market. If you don't like that, you probably could find somebody. If you're expanding your property, you want to buy some real estate. When people are scared, they make bad decisions. So if you're not scared and you're sitting on money, now would be an excellent time to start making offers, because somebody that has that house or that commercial property, they might be a little bit scared right now, thinking, oh my gosh, run for the exit, screaming fire. Now's an excellent time to buy, to deploy cash if you have it on hand. If you don't have cash on hand, it's still a good time to refinance debt because interest rates are very, very cheap. Look at your financial pictures. Take some slow time right now and look at where things are. Cash flow projections. Obviously, things are going to change. You've got some revenue being disrupted. Look at your finances, look at your legal, and look at your insurances. Your business has evolved. Your life has evolved. Your house is appreciated in value. Your cars are depreciating in value. Do they need collision coverage anymore? What about your umbrella liability policy? I carry one so that if somehow someone sues me, I have a $2 million blanket umbrella policy. Do you have one of those? Now would be an excellent time to review your insurances. Talk to your insurance agent. Figure out what you've got covered, what you don't have covered well enough, what more you can be doing to protect yourself. All that work that you did to accumulate what you got, you going to let it go away? No. Get the right insurances. Number 5 way for you to apply your corona time profitably, to capitalize on your slowness during the coronavirus scare. Number 5 thing is do the behind-the-scenes improvements. Behind-the-scenes improvements. What that means is all that stuff you said you were going to do on a rainy day, guess what? It's raining. Right now, it's pouring down. You've got time. It's a rainy day. Trust me. You're going to go and handle some things. You're going to have some crises. You're going to have to get the kids because they're not in school because they canceled school for the next month. All these kinds of things. But you know what? You have time to tend to the behind-the-scenes stuff. And behind-the-scenes stuff would be, for instance, your office layout is a screwed up mess. You're not as efficient as you could or should be. What's your closet of supplies look like? What are you sitting on inventory? How about the storage room? What's in there? Oh, hey, you know that truck that you were going to redo that is your delivery truck? Now would be a good time to work on that. What about sitting down and looking at your delivery routes? Is there a way to be more efficient? You see, slow time is readjustment time and reinvention time. Your entire business could probably be better organized. Your assistant works in a cluttered up mess. You're saying, I don't see those problems. I don't need to spend any time doing that. Oh, really? Ask your customers what they see when they look at your business. Say, hey, what am I doing wrong? And if they're honest, they'll say, well, you know what? You need to apply some energy and some attention to this or to that. And those that succeed for the long haul, actually take that feedback and act upon it. Those that don't, that go away, they say, oh, well, I don't think you're right. And then they just decide that they don't need to make the adjustments. Take your slower time and work on the stuff that's behind the scenes, because guess what? You might think it's behind the scenes, but I'll bet you it's not. To your customers or to your employees, I'll bet you they see it glaring at them every day. Things that you could be doing that need addressed. Number 1, customer outreach. Number 2, creativity. Number 3, I'm talking about capitalizing on your corona time. Number 1, you're going to do customer outreach. Number 2, you're going to devote some time to creativity, coming up with a better way of doing things, to maybe come up with some new creation, some new thing that will help you and your business. You know what else you're going to do? You're going to diversify. What new thing might you offer? What new thing could you put out there? Number 4, attend to your legal, your financial, and your insurances. Number 5, handle the things that are behind the scenes, the stuff that needs done that you have not taken care of. We cannot control world events. Sadly, we can't control world events. We can't even control local events oftentimes. All we can control is how we react to said event. How are you going to react? What are you going to do? What are you going to do with your time? Are you going to waste it? Or are you going to invest it? I just gave you 5 areas that you could invest your time, your slow down pandemic time. Instead of panicking, you're going to be using this time to apply productive activities to the furthering of your business and your life. I'm Damian Mason. I know that you will get through this. Spend your corona time wisely. And after another 4 or 6 weeks, when we've weathered this current situation, you'll have more time for ice cold coronas and you'll be happy that you weathered it. Sadly, success or failure might come down to how you handle these next couple of months. That's a true story. There are a lot of businesses that were not doing things the way they should have. And then they said, well, 9/11 put me out of business. Well, the recession of 2008 through 10 put me out of business. I'm like, well, was it really that? Or was it that you were teetering and you were never being proactive, and then that was the final straw that broke the camel's back? You see, it's not usually one event. But if you were already up against the ropes, this might be the knockout blow. But if you spend your time productively and you invest your Corona time to capitalize on it, you'll weather the storm. I do wish you well. As you know, I'm a small business person. I've been through these trials myself. I'm not judging. I've been through it. I've been through terrorist attacks. I've been through epidemics before. I've been through slowdowns, recessions, and I'm still out here making it happen, and I hope you are too. So anyway, wishing you well. We'll get through this, and if you got some slow time during self-quarantine, be sure to pick up your copy of Do Business Better. This is not only an audio podcast, which is your favorite platform where you listen to podcasts. It's also now a video on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to D Mason Comedy, that's my YouTube channel, and then click playlists. Under playlists, you'll see the Do Business Better podcast. Click that. You can subscribe anywhere on my channel. You can look at my videos, my commentary, my presentations, and you can also check out my other podcast, The Business of Agriculture. So until next time, thanks for being here. I really do wish you well, and I will do anything I can. If you want to send me an email, I can give you some guidance on ways that I'm going to continue to get through this thing, and I know you will also. It's Damian at DamianMason.com. Till next time, it's the Do Business Better podcast. Be well.